Thank you, gentlemen. This is rumor control. Here are the facts.
This is for my girls in their 30s and up like me. And this is why I think dating isn't working out for us. Girls, if you know, you know. So these guys are going on these dating apps and these younger girls are looking fucking fabulous contouring. It's not fair. We didn't have that. We're looking ratchet and we looked young, but these girls look old as hell. So they're going out plowing all of these little chickadees.
Chickadees? Sounds like a TikTok video. Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome to another installment of Chick Talk. And I mean that CHIKTOCK. The show that exposes the chicks of Chick Talk, right? Right? You guys asked for it. You wanted it. You wanted the best and you got the best. Okay, well, I'm going to give you some quick hit videos today. Our first up is this young lady right here. Let's see if I can put her back up. There you go. Much better, much better. If you really want these girls' addresses on TikTok, I will be happy to supply them to you, but I'm not even going to put them in the description. You guys, if you really want to know where they're, I think you could probably even see the address right there. So here we have an older gal, relatively speaking. She's just admitted that she's in her 30s and she is a little bit upset that, wow, lo and behold, she's having a really tough time in the sexual marketplace, competing against the young chippies. Let's continue.
Well, we get screwed because here's the deal. They don't need to be respected. They don't need to be taken on fancy dinners. They can just go out and pick and choose all these beautiful little girls walking around with their fat asses.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me that women between the ages of, let's say, 18 and 28, they've got their pick of the litter? They got their pick of the guys? Imagine that. Do you suppose this girl was one of those girls back in the day? This is the voice of the epiphany phase, by the way. Actually, I should say this is actually the voice of the post-wall phase. She's already said that she's in her 30s right here. So she's a little bit upset that the competition has suddenly gotten a little bit stiff. As I've said before, in the epiphany phase, this is when women suddenly realize, they acknowledge, right? They cognitively acknowledge the fact that they can no longer compete at the same level that they used to. And this is, this is one of many videos on TikTok of women bemoaning the same thing. They do in their own special way, and that's what this young lady is. This post 30 lady is talking about.
Meanwhile, we were waiting, and we've already passed the little host stage. We're not having sex, so we're not putting out, but they are. And these men, why would they want to settle down with us when they can fuck a different girl every fucking night? Men are pigs. Yes,
it's all your fault, gentlemen. You are a pig. You are a pig for choosing the women that are not her. There is a very old post. Actually, I should probably put this post in the description. I think I will. Royce, the inimitable Royce, the real Royce, not necessarily the artiste version of Royce, but back in 2000, I believe 2009 or 2008, maybe even later than that. He had an essay called "The Difficulty of Gaming Women by Age Bracket." And let me tell you, that was a very eye-opening and controversial, rage-baiting essay, for like a blog post, basically is what it was. And it was essentially breaking down how difficult it is to game women at various ages. And you might think that that maybe being like say the 20, I don't know exactly what the breakdown was. I do know that it was 18 to 24, 18 to 25, something like that. That was easier. That area, like if you're hitting, gentlemen, if you are hitting the, let's say 18 to 24 demographic, whatever your preference is, most men, of course, prefer the women who are between 22 and 23 years old, somewhere around there. Statistically, we know this. Thank you, Dataclysm, that great book. However, that happens to be a fairly easy demographic to game, or at least it used to be anyways, according to Royce. Relatively speaking, because right around the time that a woman hits 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, I believe he pegged this at about 26 to 33, somewhere around there. There were much broader demographics back then. And I think one of the observations that he and his crew had made back then was that it is more difficult to game women right around the epiphany phase than at any other time. So prior to acknowledging that a woman can no longer sort of compete at the same level between, like, say, 29 and 31, that's the epiphany phase, according to my book anyways, it's much easier to game women between 18 and 24 because you're looking at a different set of priorities. Women in that age demographic tend to be looking for looks at that point. It's just all it is about, alpha seed, right? It's only about the short-term sexual at that stage. And so if you can cater your game, or if you can leverage that game to that particular demographic, then you can do pretty well, particularly if you're an older guy. If you happen to be in that same demographic. One of the things that's really tough, I think, for guys right now is that they tend to think that they should be able to do better with women in their own peer group. And what I mean by that is within, like, say 3 to 5 years, give or take a little bit, within their, like, according to their own age, like comparative to their own age. And I think that there is a misnomer about that. I should probably end up doing a full episode when it's not a chick talk video. I'll do a full episode on how guys can leverage their game versus age. In this case, however, the prime demographic, the hardest demographic, is actually the demographic that she is in right now, which is right around, like, say 29 to 33, 34, because women are very particular at that age. And we can see this reflected in today's red pill, right? In today's red pill shows, red meat for the red pill shows, where we've got multiple women coming on at various ages, of course, but right around that time is when women tend to be much more particular. And you will rarely hear women say, "Oh, men are pigs," when they're 18 to 24 or 26, somewhere around there. You'll rarely hear that come out of a woman's mouth, a young woman's mouth. You only hear that right around 29 to 31, 33, somewhere around there. That's when you will hear statements like, "Men are pigs. Men only want to get with hot chippies. Is it all about sex? I'm going to make him wait. I'm going to do things the right way." You'll hear those things. You'll also hear women bemoan the fact that they can't find any good guys. You generally don't hear women who are between the ages of 18 and about 24 talking about that, worrying about that. "Oh, where are all the good guys?" They don't care where the good guys are. They're there to have a good time. The only time women really care about where the good guys are and their long-term security is when they know that the lights are going to come on at the club very soon. And I mean that metaphorically. And that's usually between the ages of 29 and 33, 34 years old. This woman, this post-wall woman, let's just say, is now experiencing that and is the voice of the epiphany phase. Where are all the good guys? Where are the nice guys? Where are all the guys who wanted to get with me when I was back in 23 and I was young and hot too? She was exactly the same way as the women that she's bemoaning that guys only want to have anything to do with. And now she thinks that guys are in control of the game. And while that may be true for the demographic of guys that she wants to get with, it is in no way true of the guys, and I'm going to show you another TikTok video here that sort of reinforces this. That is in no way representative of men that she wants to get with. So at 33 years old, a woman is generally speaking, is looking for a guy who's anywhere between 3 to 7 years older than she is. And right around there, it's usually 3 to 5. And she's looking for a guy who's already made. She's looking for a turnkey relationship. She's looking for the guy who's already crossed the finish line. And so when she cannot find that, and she sees that the guys that she wants to get with, the guys who are the hot, quote unquote, high value guys, and let's just break that down. That's alpha men. When she sees those guys going for much younger women, the kind of women that she used to be, that's when women complain about those things, because now suddenly it seems when women are looking at men in their age cohort that are now in their mid 30s and are beginning, if they're still single, they're still beginning to hit their stride. Of course, it seems very unfair because the selection priority has now switched. Women who are 22, 23 years old have the highest sexual selectivity of any age that they will ever be. Men, on the other hand, if you've made the most of yourself and you've become a high value guy, you've become an alpha male, whatever you want to call it, you've made the most, you've maximized your potential, and you're now hitting 35, 36 years old, those guys are not looking for a 33, 30, even a 31-year-old woman. They're looking for a woman who she used to be, who isn't complaining about where are the nice guys, they're looking for younger, hotter, tighter, because now they are, in fact, in a better position for sexual selectivity if they're smart. And more men are becoming more and more aware. So, yes, I understand your frustration, whatever your name is here, young, blonde, girly girl. Because now it seems like men are pigs. They're such pigs. Well, they're pigs for what? For having the sexual selectivity that you had when you were 22, 23 years old. They're just enjoying that same selectivity because now the shoe is on the other foot. So there you have that. Now, I'm going to show you one more here. Now, I apologize because I have to remove this from the studio, and then I'm going to put the next one in. And this is sort of a reinforcement of that same message. So, and boy, is this a winner or what? Wait till you see this chick.
First, I'm just going to say, do what you want. I really don't care. It doesn't affect me. But don't fool yourself into thinking that having a high body count makes you manly. Literally anybody could do that. Literally anyone can do that.
Black pill, incel, loser, MGTOW, whatever, like extreme. Okay, I shouldn't say MGTOW, whatever. The loser end of the spectrum. Literally anybody can do that. What's wrong with you guys? Anybody can go get a high body count. Well, you can, I suppose. She's not entirely incorrect. You could go do that. I mean, come to Nevada. I'll be happy to get you laid. It's no problem. Bring $500 to Reno, Nevada, and I guarantee you will get laid. So in a sense, you can always pay for it. Transactional sex is actually probably the only means to sex that most guys are ever going to have. But isn't it interesting that it seems as if any guy can do that? Well, when you get to be a little older, and she strikes me as being about 25. I don't know exactly what her age is. She might be even a little bit older than that. I've seen some of her other videos, and she's extremely full of herself. But in this instance, it's this presumption that betrays the latent message or the latent purpose of this entire video here. So let's continue. Well, remember, her premise is this: guys can get laid no matter what. It doesn't matter. A high body count is not that big a deal because anybody can do it. What she's doing is she's using female experience and a female frame of reference, and she's trying to apply it to all guys. Well, it probably seems that way. Not unlike the other girl who was just saying, hey, men are pigs because the ones that I want to get with who are older, who are made the turnkey relationship, those guys, seems like they're in a position of power because they're in a position of sexual selectivity. So let's listen to what the rest of her video is here.
That's like saying it's manly to eat cake. Literally anyone can do that. Some key characteristics of a high-value manly man, or honestly, a high-value woman as well, is discipline, dedication, and loyalty. So
kind of like the same things that guys are looking for when, let's say, on Fresh and Fit, when Fresh says, hey, what do you bring to the table? No, you don't hear those qualities coming from a woman. Rarely. I mean, occasionally you do, like from the rare specimen that happens to be on one of those shows, right? When you ask a woman, hey, what do you bring to the table besides your cooter? right? What do you bring to this table besides your sexuality? Because that's primarily what attracts men, right? What is that? She's got to be hot. She's, unlimited access to unlimited sexuality. She's got to be hot and she's got to be available. Those are really the two prime requisites, I think, for most men. After that, then we can talk about other things, and we can talk about other value added beyond those. This is the basic starting package, sexuality and availability. Anything else after that tends to be icing on the cake, tends to be value added. Now, when you say, hey, what do you bring to the table besides your holes? And to paraphrase Patrice O'Neill, see, I do talk about Patrice O'Neill. What are you besides a set of holes, lady? Well, how about loyalty, commitment, all these great esoteric, ephemeral, higher order thinking comes from that she expects from men. Well, we don't hear that from women. No, instead we say, we have women say, well, I make my own money. I'm a professional. I'll back him up in his job. I'll back him up for all of the things that I need. I'll support him as long as what I'm supporting benefits me at some point. Usually that's how it breaks down. And I will challenge you to watch any episode of like Kevin Samuels or Fresh and Fit, or there's actually a few others now that are starting to pick up on this formula as well. I'm using those two channels, but there's other ones there's other channels that are following this template now. But if you go and you look at them and you see the women on there, when they say, here's what I bring to the table, and if they ever say support, it's almost unanimously universally, whatever that guy is doing, she's willing to support. It's usually something that's going to indirectly or directly benefit her. So if the guy says, yeah, hey, I'm into comic book collecting, that's not something she's probably going to support. But if the guy says, yeah, I'm on my game and I'm an entrepreneur, blah, 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 well, then she wants to be a part of that because that is a positive association on her own ego. However, we rarely hear dutiful. We rarely hear feminine. We rarely hear loyalty. All of the four little runoff things that she's talking about, we rarely hear that from women when they try to describe themselves as something they've got more than just a cooter.
You'll find that a high value man or woman will be loyal to one partner. So again,
Why? Why do you presume that? A high value person is going to be loyal to one partner. Now, we talk about this all the time, and this is actually kind of where I wanted to... Actually, let me finish this up here.
What you want to do, I ain't going to judge you. But don't try to act like you're impressing anyone, because you're not. Okay,
so let me pull her out. All right. So what she's presuming... Now, this is the body count thing, and I get this quite a bit, okay? And I know that... And here's today's serious part of today's video, okay? A lot of times when I'm listening to Myron or I'm listening to some of these other guys, or even Kevin Samuels, or you might even hear, I think even Rich Cooper will say something like this, is that, high value men deserve to cheat. They get to cheat. That's just what they get.